Richard, before the night got started, I got like 3.5 hours worth of content, but I'm going to do my best. I ain't keeping y'all for 3.5 hours. Trust me, I'm tired too. But we're going to get into it. We're on part 2 of Chronicles. And I know y'all think like, man, Marky, you got like weeks to do this. Why you got 3 hours worth of content? Because sometimes when you're putting together a message, it just ain't good to break it apart. Sometimes when you're putting together a message, it ain't good to break it apart. And the church says amen, I think. Some of y'all like, brother, just start preaching so we can get out. So we continue in our series of Chronicles. Remember that the Chronicler is all about what? Showing the positive side of what God is trying to do. So here's my message thought for y'all, and I'm going to jump in. I ain't got no setup. I ain't got nothing cute. We're just going to start preaching. Wisdom is our key to preparing the way for God to be with us. Wisdom is our key to preparing the way for God to be with us. 2 Chronicles chapter 2, verse 1 says this. If I turn this on, it always helps. Solomon decided to build a temple to honor the name of the Lord, and also a royal palace for himself. Whew. Whew. Let me get into this. Ain't no shame in that, by the way. This is all good stuff. To honor the name of the Lord. Let's stop there for a second. Y'all ready? God's name, in association with a place, signifies his actual presence there among the people. We're going to build a temple to honor the name of the Lord. Now remember, Solomon and the Chronicler, they ain't even going to say it. It just says the name of the Yahweh. They were still scared back then. They were just to utter the letter Yahweh. They would have been scared. You know what's cool about saying Yahweh? When you say it, it's Yahoo. Yahoo. And when you do that, it's a breath. And when I say me, I'm putting stress on it. Check that out. Yahoo. It's a breath. I don't want to do nothing with my lips. It just comes out as a breath. Me? Got to do something to it. I have to provide something for me to be spoken, whereas Yahweh is a breath. And so here we see that they're about to build a temple for the breath of God to be back in the presence of his people. So what's going on? God used to come chill with Adam and Eve. Good times. Adam and Eve be out in the garden. Everything was perfect. Everything was good. Everything was good. God would show up in the cool of the evening. How y'all doing? Y'all doing good? Man, it was cool today, huh? How'd you like that freshly filleted fish I put on the beach for y'all? That was good, huh? Sun-baked. Sushi. Let's go. Right? God's like, man, this is awesome. Life is great. But then sin came in. And when sin came in, God went out. And God needed a place to hang out with his people again. And that was what the temple was for. The temple was a temporary location for God's presence to show back up temporarily. And so here we see that they're going to build a temple of massive beauty for a temporary presence. Y'all got to catch that. I'm going to say that one more time because that's going to be the theme of the night. They're going to build a beautiful, amazing, spectacular, presence-holding temple for a moment. I'm going to come back to that. Hold on to that. And so here they are. They're building this thing. And this is where God can meet and be petitioned. Yet, God cannot be contained. and he's completely limitless in everything he does. But they were going to build this amazing temple for a moment of his presence. The chronicler's temple theology embraces both the actual and real presence of God and his majesty in the transcendence of God in Christ. Jesus comes on the earth for a moment for us to see his presence. God's temple, moment, presence, beautiful, awesome, most amazing thing of all of Israel for a moment. Jesus comes on the earth, lives, does miracles, shows people the way of God again for only a moment. God's problem since sin has entered is people only waiting for moments. And I wonder why today, when Jesus went sit at the right hand of the Father and says, I'm bringing you a helper, why are we still stuck in an Old Testament mentality of waiting for a moment? How many of us, I can't wait to go to this. I can't wait for this worship song to come on. I hope he preaches about this. I hope this moment will happen so I can have my moment in the presence when the presence is supposed to be in us today. We're going to keep going because I got to get through all this. Verse 2. He enlisted a force of 70,000 laborers, 80,000 men to quarry stone in the hill country, and 3,600 foremen. It's a lot of hard workers right there. Now, the cool thing about Solomon is Solomon brought in a bunch of outside labor. So that was a good thing. Solomon realized and saw the importance of making sure that people outside were coming to help in the building process. And some of us need to realize that we need some people in our life to help us in our building process. And we got to stop trying to build what God wants us to have all by yourself, because you ain't going to build it by yourself because you ain't got the tools you need to get where you need to be. So you need somebody to come alongside you and help you build it. And it ain't just you and the Holy Spirit. Sometimes it's you, the Holy Spirit, a pot of coffee, and somebody else. Because I get like y'all too. I get tired while people preaching. All right, verse 3. Solomon also sent this message to the king, Hiram at Tyre. Send me cedar logs, as you did for my father David when he was building his palace. I'm about to build a temple to honor the name of the Lord my God. Guys, this is so cool. Honor the name. Moment. Presence, moment. Remember that. It will be a place set apart to burn fragrant incense before him, to display the special sacrificial bread and to sacrifice burnt offerings each morning and evening on the Sabbath, at noon moon celebrations, and at the other appointed festivals of the Lord our God. He commanded Israel to do these things forever. So this is all the Mosaic stuff. This must be a magnificent temple, because our God is greater than all other gods. Do me a favor real quick. Say, magnificent. Well, that was good. Y'all with me tonight. Magnificent. Man, when I read that, I'm like, ooh, it just sounds good. It's like magnificent. It's marvelous. Absolutely marvelous. Verse 6. But who can really build him a worthy home? Not even the highest heavens can contain him. So who am I to consider building a temple for him, except as a place to burn sacrifices to him? This is an amazing statement that Solomon makes. He's looking at his life, and he's like, who am I to build a temple? And again, I want to point back to what's going on here and the vision that we're seeing of the chronicler pointing to Jesus. And the whole purpose for a temple is so that God's presence can show up. And yet we were told that we are temples. Treat your body as a temple so that God's presence can be in you, going through you at all times. But yet, how many of us have felt like Solomon that says, who can really build a worthy home? How can I continue to live worthy when I'm not who I think I'm supposed to be? How can I be worthy to have God with me if I'm not everything that I want to be? Are y'all with me? Verse 7. So send me a master craftsman, one who can work with gold, silver, bronze, and iron, as well as with purple, scarlet, and blue cloth. This dude can do some stuff. We're talking all the precious irons plus purple, some scarlet, and blue cloth. That's some good stuff right there. All royal. He must be a skilled engraver who can work with the craftsmen of Judah and Jerusalem, who were selected by my father David. Look at verse 10. In payment. Hey, I need a craftsman in my life. I need somebody to help me in my life. I need God to come and fix this situation in my life. God, I'm so tired of being tired. God, I want you to come and help me. But what's awesome about these statements is there's a lot of me's in there. So what does Solomon do? In payment for your woodcutters, I'll send you 100,000 bushels of crushed wheat. I don't know how much that really is, but that's a lot. 100,000 bushels of barley, 110,000 gallons of wine, and 110,000 gallons of olive oil. That's a lot of, I know gallons, that's a lot. They about to cook and have a party. Master craftsman, the Hebrew word is, I struggle with these Hebrew, come. That's literally how you say it. But it literally means wise. Let me backtrack. Send me a wise person who can work. Solomon's mentality of continually asking God for wisdom is why Solomon was written up in the Bible as the wisest man to ever live the earth. And what we have to learn to do in our walk with God is start asking God for some wisdom and stop asking God for a bailout plan. Because a bailout plan is a temporary solution, whereas wisdom is a long-standing thing that will keep you going where you're supposed to go to continue to build you to who you're supposed to be. So we got to stop looking for a temporary temple of presence, and we got to start asking God for wisdom to get us where we need to go. In payment, though. In payment. Solomon was following the footsteps of David here, his daddy. And he's like, listen, I see my daddy in practice invest so that he will receive the blessings of God. Y'all didn't amen that one. What we invest in is what we receive from. Yeah, it's getting real in the house now. We're talking money. That's why Jesus taught money so much. But I'm not talking about just money. I'm talking about your investment. What are you investing in? What is your time invested in? What is your talents invested in? What is your ordinary life invested in? How are we living our lives? God, I need a bailout plan. Well, what you giving me? Where's your investment? Have you been praying? Have you been in the Word? Has all your prayers just been like, God, God, I need, or have your prayers been, God, you're wonderful. Thank you for this amazing life that you've provided me with. God, I'm thankful for this ordinary life of sleeping, waking up, and going to work. Or do you get like me, and just to get honest for a second, God, I really got to go there again today? I'm just going to throw myself under the bus so you don't have to throw yourself under the bus. Because that's what I do. Because I forget that he has required an investment of me to get where I need to be. And if all my want is for the bailout, I can't invest because I don't have anything to give. So I'm tired of asking for bailouts from God. I'm ready to start investing and seeing a return on my investment. Let's keep going. I think I'm going to get this done. What time is it? Oh, I think I can. All right. Verse 3. How y'all like the chronicle in these pictures, though, huh? He just looks so wise. He looks tired. Man, got an ordinary life. Anyway, verse 3. There's nothing ordinary about that picture. These are the dimensions Solomon used for the foundation of the temple of God, using the old standard of measurement. It was 90 feet long and 30 feet wide. The entry room at the front of the temple was 30 feet wide, running across the entire width of the temple and 30 feet high. He overlaid the inside with what? Pure gold. Man. I get pumped. Look, let me tell y'all a story real quick. If you come up to me tonight and I kind of smell like exhaust fumes or diesel or gas or something like that, so I got this new lawnmower, and it's new to me. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? It ain't really new, but it's new to me. And so I bought this lawnmower, and I was super excited. I got it home, and I cut grass with it like a couple of times. Like, oh, I'm so excited about my new lawnmower. It's just cool. Well, one day I take the lawnmower in the backyard and I put it in gear and I go to the store ride my lawnmower. And y'all, I got a yard that's like super tiny. I'm talking like six passes and we done. I didn't buy the lawnmower for what I currently had. I bought the lawnmower for an investment that I'm trying to get. That's a whole nother story though. So I get the lawnmower though and I'm trying it out and I'm like, whoa. I'm pumped up by an old school snapper. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Like, they got the engine on the back. Man, you just look silly riding them things. And then the whole engine, like, turns and stuff like you're on. You going through, like, hey, you look like you dancing on the lawnmower or something. Anyway, so I get this thing, right? And I put it in gear, and it started, like, stuttering. I'm like, huh. So now I'm on the lawnmower, like, shaking it, trying to get it to go. Like, come on, baby. Come on, you can cut grass. Come on. You know, it won't cut, though. So I put it in reverse, and man, you put it in reverse, and it goes good. And I'm like, huh. I thought about it, but it got a safety mechanism, and I tried to break the safety mechanism off so I could cut grass in reverse. But then I'm like, that's not smart, and that's not wise, and I want to be a craftsman, so I'm going to stop. And I didn't do that. So instead, I got on what everybody does. I got on YouTube. I'm like, let's search this. Put my search in, hit enter. Y'all, I found a guy that's got 300 videos on how to work on snapper lawnmowers. We are best friends. No lie. I emailed him. He responded. My jaw dropped that night. I'm like, I emailed him, and like 15 minutes later, he's like, hey, Mark, how are you doing? Sounds like this is your problem. I thought you were just the guy in the video. I didn't think you was really going to respond to me. This is amazing. And so he like tells me what to do. So I ordered this port. It was $15. Get this $15 port. I called just out of curiosity. Hey, my lawnmower's doing this. About how much it costs? It's like $150. I'm like, whew. Yeah, we're going, this $15 port got to work, Jesus. And so this $15 port comes in today, in fact. Right after I got finished studying this message, I'm like, oh, it's in the mail. Because I got the notification. I run outside, I get it, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, I can change this before church. So I go in my backyard, I start ratcheting it on this thing. I get it all on there. I put it in gear, and it worked. Like, I feel like a mechanic right now. It's amazing. I'm not, though. Don't ask me to work on nothing. It ain't going to work right. So anyway, So I take off on my little lawnmower, and I'm like, well, I got to see if it can cut, So I put it in gear. I gauge the blade, and I start cutting, and I get one section of grass cut, and I go park it, and I'm like, oh, it works so good. I was so excited. I was so pumped up. And so I said, well, now I got to cut it all. So I cut it all. And what's neat about this story, and the reason I'm telling you the story is that I took so much pride in a $15 port to get me into an entrance to the blessing that I'm trying to get to. And I got excited about a $15 investment because it got me what I needed. And I read this line: in the entry room to the temple is massive and overlaid with pure gold. Can you imagine the first time they saw their investment in front of them and they start walking into the investment and like, wow, look at this thing. And they didn't even scratch the surface yet. And when you start to realize that the investments that you're making in your life are only the surface of what God's trying to do, and you can get excited about the entry, the walking into the blessing, the walking into the process, the waking up in the morning and realizing you got blessings. Keep coming. All right. He paneled the main room of the temple with cypress wood, overlaid it with fine gold, and decorated it with carvings of palm trees and chains. He decorated the walls of the temple with beautiful jewels and with gold from the land of Pavar. He overlaid the beams, thresholds, walls, and doors throughout the temple with gold. He carved figures of cherubim on the. Are y'all getting the picture here of what this thing is looking like? Now, you know what's cool about the Chronicle? I got to pause for a second. What's cool about the Chronicle is he got all this information from the kings. Which king he got this from? 1 Kings chapter 6. If you read 1 Kings chapter 6, you find out about all the intricacies of the building process. The Chronicle skips all that. He's like, yeah, that's cool, but let me tell you what this thing looked like. Have you ever been involved in something and somebody wants to start telling you their process and you're like, dude, just get to the point? Some of y'all are scared to say yeah because maybe they're sitting next to you. Okay, I get it. So the chronicler's like, look, I ain't gonna be like the dude that wrote Kings, okay? I'm just gonna get to the good part of the story. And that's what he's doing here. All right. He made the most holy place. Somebody say most holy. Made the most holy place 30 feet wide, corresponding to the width of the temple, and 30 feet deep. He overlaid its interior with 23 tons of fine gold. Hallelujah. Praise you, Jesus. Listen, look at this. Look at this one. The gold nails. Man, I can't hit an iron nail without it bending. How they hitting gold nails without them? I don't know how they did that. Anyway, gold nails that were used weighed 20 ounces each. That's a big old nail. And he also overlaid the walls of the upper rooms with gold. He made 2 figures shaped like cherubim, overlaid them with gold, and placed them in the most holy place. The total wingspan of 2 cherubim standing side by side was 30 feet. One wing of the first figure was 7.5 feet long, and it touched the temple wall. The other wing, also 7.5 feet long, touched one of the wings of the second figure. In the same way, the second figure had one wing, 7.5 feet long, that touched the opposite wall. The other wing was also 7.5 feet long and touched the wing of the first figure. So the wingspan of the 2 cherubim side by side was 30 feet. They stood on their feet and faced out toward the main room of the temple. Across the entrance of the most holy place, he hung a curtain made of fine linen, decorated with blue, purple, and scarlet thread, and embroidered with figures of cherubim. Man, this thing is beautiful. For the front of the temple, He made 2 pillars that were 27 feet tall, each topped by a capital extending upwards another 7.5 feet. He made a network of interwoven chain and used them to decorate the tops of the pillars. He also made 100 decorative pomegranates and attached them to the chains. Then he set up 2 pillars at the entrance of the temple, one to the south of the entrance and the other to the north. He named one of the south Jachin, and he named the other one Boaz. Whew. And I read all that so you understand this. I'm not about to jump in some numbers. I'm not about to get all crazy on you. I just want you to realize that what God makes is beautiful. I just read an entire passage of the most beautiful temple ever created, and yet he calls me and you a temple. And if he called what we would consider to be beautiful, man, what does he think about me and you? What is his thought about you? What is his mentality about you? If he says that you are a temple worthy of my presence, and this is a momentary presence where I can come one time a year for the time of atonement, yet I will live with you every single day. How much more does he look at you as something beautiful if this only was good enough for him to come for a moment? So my question is, what are we doing with our temple? Are we really realizing who we are? See, my question to us is this: why are we even here tonight? Is it out of duty? Is it because it's Wednesday night and it's midweek service and you're just supposed to go to church on Wednesday night because we've been doing that for a long time and that's just how life is? Why do we come? I really hope that we're all here for wisdom. I hope we're here for wisdom. I hope we're here for wisdom. Because Solomon was constantly seeking out wisdom. And when we seek out wisdom, we seek out how to make ourselves beautiful. And the more wisdom we get, the more understanding we have, the more we learn, the prettier we can make ourselves because we start to become wise like craftsmen. And all of us are called to be a craftsman of what God has given us. So look, I don't know about you, but I struggle sometimes in church. I'm just going to be honest with y'all. I'm the preacher, and sometimes I come in tired. I have prepared and studied, and I'm excited to preach. Yet some days I get here, and I'm like, oh, dear God. Oh, I'm ready. Let's just go. Somebody start singing so I can get up there and preach and go home. Sometimes I feel like the guy that fell asleep on Paul. I'm like, if I could just fall off the stage right now, it might be nice. They might actually get a reaction out of them. I'm sorry, that was rude. Sometimes, I told y'all, sometimes I can't let everything that's playing in my head come out. But I hope, church, we're searching for wisdom. I pray that when I'm bringing the word to you guys on Wednesday nights, it's Bible study. This is what we do on Wednesdays. Every so often, I'll throw y'all a curveball and just go preach something crazy. But we're trying to go through the Bible, and we're trying to get wisdom. And I'm praying that I'm bringing you something fresh. For those of you that have been hearing the word for a long time, I'm praying that you're getting something fresh. I'm not just trying to preach the same thing. And for those of you that are kind of going through the Bible for the first time with us, I'm praying that you're receiving everything we're getting, because the more wisdom we get, the better we learn how to take care of this thing. This temple that was made beautiful way back then. For a temporary presence of God, Jesus came and tore the veil of that old temple and said, now I'll live with you forever. He tore that beautiful curtain in half and said, thank y'all for a temporary home, but I'd rather live with you. And for the first time, a God that we can't contain is back on the earth again, and he's in each and every one of us. The God who cannot be contained chooses to live inside of all this. And that should just mess your head up. That's why I want to read this for y'all one more time. So here's what I want you to do. God helping you, because he's in you. Take your everyday, ordinary life. You're sleeping. Somebody say amen. You're eating. Boy, y'all said that one quick. You said that one quick. You're eating. You're going to work and walking around life and place it before God as an offering. The first temple started with an offering. And the temple that you have today should always be an offering. Everything you have should be placed before God's feet. And when you do that, he takes everything you are and makes you beautiful. If you questioned your life, if you have struggled with your purpose, if you have taken time out of your day before to contemplate, God, what is really the reason I'm here? All I have to tell you is I can give you one strong piece of advice when those things come to your mind. You look back to heaven and say, whatever you made me for, I give it to you. And sometimes you don't know what that is. But I can promise you, if you just start figuring out what you're good at and will give that to God, everything that you think you're bad at, he'll make beautiful. What God gave me was a gift to read the word and pull stuff out of it that sometimes even I sit back and be like, wait, God, is you sure that's what you was trying to tell me? Because I did eat Tampigos for lunch, so... It's like sometimes I get revelation from the Bible and I got to go study for like hours to like try to vet it out and make sure that like, God, like, you sure? Because I ain't never heard it like that before. And that was my gift. But you know what I couldn't stand to do? I couldn't stand to hold a mic in my mouth and speak to people. So when I gave God what he gave me, he fixed the things that I could not do. And when you give God the gifts he's given you, whatever they are, if you've never done a DISC assessment, let me know. I'll help you out. I'll let you do it. We did it for the Red Book. We're going to be relaunching that next year again. If you didn't do it, come and do it again. You'll see your gifts. You'll see what you can do. If you forgot and you lost your paper, come take that. Just come for that one session. You can leave. You won't offend me. Because it's so important for you to understand who God made you to be. Because you're not a mistake. Your issues, the things that you think are issues, they're not issues. That's just who God made you. It's the devil's lies that keep you locked into thinking that you're not worth being the temple of God. Some of us, I love when people, I got anger issues. No, you don't. You're just passionate. You're using it wrong. That's from me too. Right? I'm shy. No, you're not. You're probably an intercessor. I talk too much. You probably need a mic in your hand. Somebody like, no. But whatever it is that you see as your faults is oftentimes what God has gifted you with to do something great. Because we are his temple. And you know what's funny is we read in all this scripture about stuff being pure gold, pure gold. You know there's no such thing. Not without a process. I can't go dig any pure gold today. It does not exist without a process. And none of us in this room are going to be the perfect temple that God has called us to be without that process. So church, please let us be striving for wisdom. It's my prayer. God, give me a little bit more wisdom. Give me just a little bit more wisdom. God, let me learn something new every time I talk to you. Boy, when you take that approach, man, your prayer life will change. You'll just start sitting back saying, ooh, Lord, I'm smart. Thank you, Father. I don't know where that came from with my 10th grade education. I'm talking about me. I'm not ashamed of who I was because God has given me something different. Watch this. Don't become so well adjusted. Yeah, there it is. Don't become so well adjusted to your culture. I want to point that out one more time. This right here, your culture, has nothing to do with the world around you. It's your culture. It's what are you bringing in your everyday life. It matters. Fix your attention on God. He wants from you quickly, where's it at? God brings the best out of you and develops well-formed maturity in you. What is maturity? Wisdom. Let God bring the best out of you so that we can get some wisdom. Amen? Y'all got something out of this tonight? I did. I was excited to preach it. Y'all stand. I can't believe I got through all that, and it's right at 8 o'clock. If the clock is still right. Is it right? It is. Dead on. Awesome. I'm going to pat myself on the back later. Father, we're just so thankful for your word. God, I thank you that every day we should strive for more wisdom. Because just like you had this beautiful temple to have a moment in your presence, you have now created this temple that you call beautiful to live in. And so, Father, I thank you that you have given me the opportunity to be the craftsman of my temple. Lord, give me the wisdom to build it the way you want me to build it. Give me the wisdom to stay focused and on track and to be thankful for everything I have rather than looking for my bailout. And then, God, thank you for giving me the ability to give out that which you put in so that I can lay down my offering to you, my sacrifice to you, my things that I hold deepest to, so that you can take those things and grow me and make me stronger and better than I've ever been before. Father, everything you want to design me cost. And so, Father, I thank you that I am going to be willing to pay the cost to continue to grow so I can know more about you. And we thank you for what you're going to do in each and every one of us. In Jesus' name, amen.